Hi everyone. Today we are going to be drafting a cube that is near and dear to my heart because I designed it. For the first time we're going to be drafting one of my cubes here on the channel. This is Atomic Cube. A cube that aims for sort of very fair, retail limited style gameplay at a very high power level. So there aren't going to be really any combos, reanimator style strategies, storm, anything sort of traditionally unfair in that sense, but we are going to see some of the most powerful cards outside of those strategies that have ever been printed. The goal here is very skill testing magic, very traditional strategic magic, but you're still going to see your Ragavans and your Swords to Plowshares and stuff like that. As a reminder, we are drafting here on the Dimir Public Office's Discord server. If you want to get in there, the link is in my link tree in the video description. So hop in if you want to get in on one of these drafts. A link to this cube's list on CubeCon will also be in the video description. And with that, let's hop into the draft. All right, here we are in pack 1. So my inclination is usually to first pick fetch lands in this format. There are 2 of each of them in this cube, as well as 2 of each shock land. The rest of the cube is fully singleton. As far as cards that I think are strong enough to draft over a fetch land in this pack, there is actually kind of a number of them. Copter is way up there, so is Skullclamp, and so is Kroxa, with maybe honorable mention to Bitter Blossom. That's what I'm looking at here. Kroxa is really committal, but it is also incredibly powerful in this cube. The curve is really low, and late game engines are really valuable. I also think red-black is a particularly powerful color pair here. I think I am... This is close. It's really between Kroxa and Copter for me. I think I'm going to take the Copter just because it is less committal in terms of color. Okay, Thoughtseize, Arc Trail are probably my high picks here. Arc Trail is a card that I draft really quite highly in this cube, and the reason for that is because the creatures are so small, it is really easy to get a 2-for-1 with this card. It's difficult to get a read here on what colors are open at this early, but it does seem that red is... There's only this one red card here, so I can try the hook and cut, or which might run the risk of me getting hooked and cut, as it were. Or I could draft the Thoughtseize, which seems to be a little bit more open. I'm going to take the Arc Trail. Ooh, alright, here's a card that's new to the cube, Hired Claw. I am excited about testing this card, so maybe I'll try to showcase it here. I think Essica's Chariot is the strongest card in this pack, probably. But we're already red, and I want to try this new Bloomburrow card. Yeah, okay, red and black both seeming really quite open here. This is also a pretty late Polluted Delta. I think I'm going to try and stick to the red cards I've got here. Between Slick Shot, Show Off, and Twin Shot Sniper, it's actually kind of interesting. Twin Shot Sniper can be very powerful in this environment. Again, the creatures are small, so it does a pretty good Flametongue Kavu impression. But it also can channel to just kind of kill something. Whereas Show Off here is going to have a much higher damage output. I do think I'm going to take the Sniper. It's not quite as narrow. Slick Shot Show Off is really quite aggressive, and I think the Twin Shot Sniper gives me a few more angles here. Seasoned Pyromancer seems like a great pick here. Our lane is super open. I usually try to play more than one color in this format. As I mentioned, the fixing is really good. But so far we're sticking kind of mono red. Arid Mesa is pretty late. I'm happy to pick it up here. Might help us splash. Wow, the Marsh Flats and the Croxa came all the way back around, and we have seen that black is really open. So I'm going to grab the Croxa. We might even get that Blood Crypt that we saw, and then we're right into this kind of red-black, mid-rangey, aggro-y, kind of like on the fast side of mid-range sort of thing. Yep, here's the Blood Crypt. So our Arid Mesa is turned on. And Scourge of the Skyclaves is certainly a black card. And yeah, all of those sweet cards came right back around. I think I'm going to take the Dread Fugue here. I love playing hand attack in decks that look like this. This is one of the worst hand attack spells in the cube, but it is still going to hit a huge percentage of the cards in the cube, even without being cleaved. Play with fire, again, much better than normal because of the relatively small creature size. And here we are in pack 2. We're again doing 4 packs of 15, burn the last 4, because we have a 6-player pod here. This is interesting. I really like Hive of the Eye Tyrant. I'm also interested in Unholy Heat, which is probably, well, one of the best red removal spells, but we're also already in black, which is an incredibly good removal color in its own right. I like that Hive is pretty free in terms of just going straight into the mana base. So I think I'm going to pick that up. The same can be said of Shatterskull Smashing, but I think Hive is probably a little bit better than that card, especially if we're already going to be in black. Again, we have access to all kinds of removal already. Lava Dart is another interesting pick here. It can be a 2-for-1 a lot of the time, but I think we might be able to get it back around. Ooh, second Blood Crypt. Dark Confidant also very high on my list. So is Dreadhorde Arcanist. This card pairs really well with the aforementioned hand attack spells. I think I'm going to pick this card up. Drafting cards that are banned in Legacy tends to be good in Cube. That's kind of my experience, I don't know. Ooh, okay, Duress versus one of these. Oh, we also have Dreams of Steel and Oil. Okay, we kind of have our pick of the litter here. 2 premier black 1-drops versus 2 really strong hand attack spells. I haven't actually played with Nethergoyf in this cube yet, so I am going to draft that card because I want to get a feel for it. I might be saying that a little bit too often during this draft, just because, you know, as the curator, I like to play with some cards that I haven't seen really working yet. Same goes with Hidetsugu here. I think I'm going to try to wheel this card because there are a lot of better cards already in the pack. Liliana the Last Hope, definitely among them, although that's going to be a lot of 3-drops if I try to play this Hidetsugu as well. So I think I'm going to go ahead and take this unilaterally good removal spell, and we'll try to play the Hidetsugu when we get it on the wheel. Ooh, Deep Cavern Bat, threat and hand attack spell. Love to see it. I'm on the lookout for a couple more things to pair with this Dreadhorde Arcanist. We've got 2 nice spells for it already. Okay, not much here for us. Do we want to try to move into white or move into blue? I think the answer is blue, although our Arid Mesa can't actually fetch this Undercity Sewers. So we'd have to find another fetch land to make this one work. So for that reason, maybe we'll grab the Elegant Parlor instead. I think there's actually some shot that we play the Elegant Parlor even if we have a very, very light white splash or no white splash at all. I wonder if Zoraline is going to be worth trying here. The problem with this card is that it is kind of a double white spell in a lot of senses. This is a new Bloomburrow card. It's going to be difficult to splash it. I think I am going to take this Lava Dart. Again, it's often a 2-for-1 in this environment, and it can also be flashed back with the Arcanist. Let's grab Blade here, I think. We're currently a little lighter on threats than we are removal. No, that's not even true. Maybe we'll take the cut. It does fight with our Croxa a little bit in terms of graveyard equity, but it's alright. Stalactite Stalker, I think, is a little bit better in our deck than Karizev. It could also be Barbarian Ring here. We'll try the Stalker. And there's the Hitotsugus. I don't think this pick is correct in terms of win rate, but again, this is a recent addition to the cube, and I'd like to see how it plays. And now we have Seal of Fire versus Young Pyromancer. I'm going to grab the Seal of Fire. This is a nice removal spell that also can turn on the Nethergoyf, turn on the Kroxa, stuff like that. Alright, moving into pack 3 here. This pack is really good for us, wow. I think it might just be Bloodstained Mire. It's good with the Stalactite Stalker and all of the aforementioned things that care about filling our graveyard. And we're guaranteed to get something good back out of this pack. There's actually straight up 7 cards here that I would happily play. So no matter what the rest of the players draft, I'm going to get a great card out of this pack. I'm really hoping for that Unearth though. Unearth Kroxa, and then attack with Dreadhorde Arcanist, and Unearth Kroxa again. Oh yeah. Bonecrusher Giant is pretty sweet here. So is Firebolt. Burst Lightning is kind of cute with Arcanist because you can actually kick it. You still have to pay the 4 mana, but you can kick it out of the graveyard if you want. I'm going to grab the Giant. It's just so efficient. Misty Rainforest cannot fetch any of the things that we're currently doing. So I think I'm going to grab this Abrade. This might be a sideboard card. We'll see. Ooh. Wow, this is quite the pack. I wonder about drafting this Psychic Frog and then trying to get... I mean, there's a Thundering Falls here. We saw a Watery Grave and a Steam Vents. We've already got this Arid Mesa and this Bloodstained Mire. I think this splash might actually be worth it. I think this card is very, very good. Here's Polluted Delta. That'll help. This is a very late gut as well. But I'm kind of invested in trying to make this Psychic Frog work. As much as I'd love another hand attack spell for Arcanist. And Broadside Bombardiers. Okay, well, yeah. Just powerful magic cards. No one is in red at all. We did get that Unearth back around. I'm very happy about that. And our deck is almost done at this point. And we have an entire pack to go. I do think Firebolt is a little bit better than Burst Lightning here. Yeah, let's grab this. I'm not jazzed about any of these cards. Synthesizer is a maybe. And if we can get one of those Shocklands or the Thundering Falls back. I think we get one look at the Thundering Falls. Yeah, any fetchable source at all for this Psychic Frog is going to be a big deal in this deck. Yeah, there's the Thundering Falls. And I think Despise is going to probably do it here. It could just be Den of the Bugbear, though. Despise is more replaceable than a land that does something. And we've got 23 cards here already. Wow, this pack is also really good. I think it might be Raucous Theater for me. Then we don't have to play this random off-color Surveil land. Toxic is very powerful, but not really what our deck is doing. I also like Blood Chief's Thirst in conjunction with Arcanist. Alright, let's grab the Theater. Scalding Tarn is going to make our fixing even better. Takanuma is going to be a late game that tucks into our mana base. We already have 3 fetch lands. But fetch lands are very, very good in our deck. We've got the Stalactite Stalker, we've got the Scourge of the Skyclaves. We've got a bunch of other reasons to fill our graveyard. I think I'm going to take the Takenuma here, although we might be able to wheel that one. Alright, let's take the Tarn, because the Tarn is not coming back around, that's for sure. It's also way more replaceable than Takenuma though, so maybe that's wrong. I don't know. I actually think I'm going to draft Squee over Embercleave here. Embercleave kills the opponent faster, but Squee kind of feeds into our graveyard synergy situation. Yeah, let's give that a go. Defile. Or perhaps Nurturing Peatland. It's just kind of better than Swamp in our deck for most intents and purposes. I can't wait for them to print the blue-black one in this cycle. That's high on my wish list for this cube. Expressive Iteration might also be worth the splash here. Bitter Triumph seems very good, so does Faithless Looting. I think I'm gonna take Triumph. And we got the Bloodchief's Thirst back. It is gonna be hard to make cuts from this deck. We're pretty light on creatures. I think we're leaning pretty controlling, actually. Unless we land a 1-drop and try to go pretty tempo-y. That can probably... It's either Lava Dart or Play with Fire, I think. I don't know that we need the Murderous Cut. It's fighting now with Squee and Kroxa, so I want to try to get out of the graveyard just a little bit. I think it's Ayarta's Oathsworn here, but I don't know if we're actually mainboarding that card. It could be that we want some random 2-drop over our worst removal spell. Embercleave is probably not making the mainboard. I also don't think I'm supposed to mainboard Hidetsugu here, unfortunately. Defile's fine. We've got the Hired Claw. We could take Swiftspear. I don't know if we're actually a Swiftspear deck, but it seems better than Eidolon. If we make this a 2, and we make this a 2, can we get away with 16 lands in this deck? Maybe. Yeah, let's play 16 lands. So that's going to be... We want the Arid Mesa, Blood Crypt, Hive. I don't think we're going to play the Elegant Parlor. That could be wrong. Definitely playing the Thundering Falls. Raucous Theater, Den of the Bugbear, Scalding Tarn, Nurturing Peatland. And that gives us room for 7 basics. I don't think I'm going to play a basic island. Oh wait, no, that gives us room for... Wait, that's supposed to be 6 basics. Did I do my math wrong? This is 16... Oh yeah, okay. I need to cut 1 card if I want to play 16 lands in this deck. It's tough to say. All the 3-drops are pretty cracked. It could be Oathsworn. Yeah, okay, that seems fine. And then is 3 and 3 correct here? Probably roughly. Yeah, okay, that's fine. Yeah, let's do it like that. All right, and we are on the play in match 1. This hand is full of ways to surveil, but nothing to really do on turn 1. Expressive Iteration is also not really a 2-drop. The card selection is enticing, but I think we can do better than this with our average 6. I'm going to mulligan. Alright, this is roughly the same hand, but that's alright. I'm going to keep it. I'm going to put a mountain away. And we can at least surveil. Plains, okay. And a Thraben Inspector. Not the best target for Bloodchief's Thirst. Let's go ahead and grab this Raucous Theater. We do need black mana, potentially. Stalactite Stalker is pretty sweet. We're going to put this on top, and this way we can crack the Polluted Delta main phase and get a counter there. Stalactite Stalker, Polluted Delta. This could get a removal spell for the Thraben Inspector, but I don't think we need to do that here. I'd rather get the Surveil and kill their 2-drop with Bloodchief's Thirst. And yeah, we can keep that on top as well. Gonna get a counter here on the Stalactite Stalker. And then hopefully we just have removal spell for your 2-drop, hit you for 2. Oh, no 2-drop at all. The keen-eyed among you might notice that this is the same opponent that was on blue-white control in the Neoclassical Cube video. So perhaps we are fighting against a similar thing here. I think I'm going to play the Expressive Iteration. Try to hit a land. Let's attack first, though. Okay, there's a den, and I think I want the Dreadhorde Arcanist over the Smuggler's Copter. So let's put that into hand. We'll put Copter on the bottom, and we will exile the den. And then we'll go ahead and play the den for turn. I think that was a pretty good EI. I'm expecting a Surveil land here. Yeah, okay. Maybe they're black-white, and not Esper or blue-white. Black-white control has historically been a pretty real archetype in this cube as well. And yeah, it looks like the full Esper here. Guess they've got a type. They are letting me untap with the Stalker. I wonder what I should do here. I think I'm going to start with the attack. And then I think it's going to be land Dreadhorde in case of miscalculation or something like that. And if they do have a removal spell for the Dreadhorde, then the Stalker gets bigger, which is cool. Path to Exile. That does not trigger the Stalker, but that's fine. I am going to get a basic land. And crack the clue. Makes sense to me. Another Surveil for opponent. And I guess I'll be taking one. Oh no, they have a flash blocker. Okay, that's fine because I have a Play with Fire. So even if they flash in Malcolm or something like that, then I can kill it and get the 2-for-1. That almost makes me want a Dreadfugue post-combat, which is usually wrong. But the Play with Fire is going to kill most of the flash things. I guess it could be Spell Queller, in which case I'm going to want to cast the Dreadfugue first, and then Bloodchief's Thirst it. I don't have enough black mana to do that all at once. I also can't actually hit Spell Queller with Dreadfugue unless I cleave it. Maybe I will cleave it here. Oh, I needed to select cleave. Okay, messed that up. That should be fine. If the read is Spell Queller, they could flash it in, make their blocks good. And then I'm going to have to wait until next turn Ooh, Bowmasters. Okay, that's sweet. One damage on the Stalker. Okay. Soul Partition versus lose focus. And next turn I'm getting Teferi'd most likely. I think I'm going to take the lose focus. Teferi is scary, but I can probably kill it next turn with play with some combination of play with fire and Bloodchief's Thirst. Or play with fire and Firebolt rather, and Bloodchief's Thirst the Orcish Bowmasters now. I think that's fine. I'm gonna kill the Bowmasters and I'm going to pass the turn. Okay, Consider was the draw. Let me pull these up here. So lose focus is gone. They still have Otawara, Blade Splicer, Soul Partition. Shrine will enter tapped, and I'm expecting probably bounce the Stalker here. Okay, maybe not. They want to hang on to the Soul Partition. Interesting. So if I attack with the Stalker, and they double block, and I kill their thing, then they can Soul Partition the Stalker. And then I can just cast it again, and that's probably fine. Okay, I'm in. I can also get this Stalker killed and then unearth it. And then it triggers itself, which is kind of cute. Okay, go like this. Play with fire your Thraben Inspector. Oh, I should have hit the token because now they can actually Soul Partition the Inspector if they want. Okay, I guess not. And now I'm just going to chill again. Mother of Runes is fine. Just going to Firebolt that. Opponent says hi YouTube. I don't know if I'm quite big enough for the hi YouTube yet, but should I kill the Mother now? No, I'd rather Firebolt it. I'm just going to let the Teferi resolve and then Firebolt during my own turn. Bounce my thing, as expected. That's fine. I guess maybe with that in mind, I should have Infernal Grasped the Mother of Runes, and I can Firebolt the Teferi. That might have been a mistake. Squee. Okay, Squee has haste. And opponent does not have Soul Partition mana up. So that's awesome. What we're going to do here is Firebolt the Mother of Runes. Cast the Squee. And my belief is that we can attack opponent here, and then make the 1/1 that's attacking the Teferi, I think. This might be very bad if it doesn't work like that. Oh, it does work like that. Sweet. Alright, Teferi down and Stalker back onto the battlefield here. Soul Partition can kill my token, I guess. But I'm hoping Squee can just kind of close the game out here. There's the Blade Splicer. We have the Infernal Grasp for that. Stalker has Menace. And Netherglyph. Sweet draw. So yeah, let's go ahead and kill this token and then swing out. Soul Partition on the Squee makes sense. Still gonna swing out. So I can still cast the Squee, but it costs me, I believe, 2 more mana. Yeah. So I'll probably be doing that next turn. And Netherglyph is gonna be a 3/4 here. Okay, we saw the Soul Partition, we saw the Blade Splicer, so they have Odawara plus Unknown. I am going to play this in case of Censor or something like that, and I'm going to cast this Squee. Alright, Remand. That will go back into my hand. And again, swing out. Here comes Odawara, I imagine. I don't know what this is going to be pointed at. Looks like Nethergoyf. Okay, that's fine. I'm going to get you for 2, and I'm going to put that Nethergoyf right back onto the battlefield. There are presumably Wraths in my opponent's deck. There's a good number of Wraths in the cube. But I feel pretty insulated against Wraths right now with the Squee and the Nethergoyf. Okay, Skyclave is pretty sweet. That's going to get rid of my Nethergoyf forever. Bitter Triumph can kill the Skyclave and still leave up enough mana for the Squee, which is not true of this Firebolt in my graveyard. So let's go ahead and pay 3 life, kill your 2/2. Odawara is used. Get our Skyclave token and put the Squee back into play. Opponent chooses no blocks and goes down to 4. I still have this 2 damage hanging in my graveyard. So even if there's Day of Judgment here or something like that, I'm feeling pretty good about unearthing the Squee and going for lethal. It's only 3 damage, I suppose, but still, should be enough. They've drawn something. Murktide Region. Okay, that's pretty good, but I don't think it's going to be enough here. It is an 8/8. They got the full 8 on it. I think I'm going to swing out. Their last card needs to be Counterspell. Okay, they're conceding. On to the sideboard here. So we are against what I kind of hesitate to call Esper Control without seeing any board wipes. The only top-end card we saw here was Murktide Region, which is a little bit more tempo-leaning in my opinion. But, you know, it can fill a role in a control shell for sure. That being said, I think I'm going to lean back on the removal a little bit. I'm also just not sure what I'm really trying to bring in here. We could bring more threats in. I think the hand attack is very strong in this matchup. The Twin Shot Sniper might be a little worse than normal here. We could bring in Hitotsugus, maybe even Embercleave. Just try to get under the opponent, shut the door. I think Twin Shot Sniper can come out. I don't know if the Hitotsugu matters here. The back is not particularly resilient against removal or anything like that. Just bring in like Oathsworn or something. I like this one because it scales easily. If we can get it in under counter magic and they don't have removal, it can end the game all by itself. Which is not as true of Twin Shot Sniper, which I think is just a kind of mediocre removal spell in this matchup. I'm not as worried about it blocking or anything like that. There's some matchups where that card is a crazy 2-for-1, but I don't think this is one of them. Okay, this hand looks pretty good. We can deal a bunch of damage to ourselves and then try to go with the Scourge. And we also get some Surveils. They're going to take 2. That's good news for the Scourge. Esper Sentinel is here. I'm not going to give them a card back on that. I'm going to play the Arid Mesa and just go ahead and Surveil on their end step and probably kill the Sentinel. Opponent has surveilled Odawara into their graveyard. I think that makes sense. I think that's a good read. Swamp can go in the bin. We have plenty of those. Here's Squee. I like that. I think I'm going to probably play Bloodstained Mire, deal 3 to myself for that Skyclave, and then kill the Esper Sentinel. Trigger, and pay 1. This would be an awkward spot to get Force Spiked, but looks like they didn't have it. Ooh, White Orchid Phantom. That is going to kill one of my lands. I'm going to grab a Swamp with this. This is the first time I've seen this card cast in this format. It's a pretty new card to the cube. But I'm really excited about the way it can answer problem lands without having a tempo implication, because they do get, it's like Ghost Quarter, they get that land back. So let's see. Are we willing to just race here with the Scourge? Or do we want to kill the White Orchid? I guess we can do both if we get an untapped land with the Scalding Tarn. Okay, let's do that. Kill your thing. Gonna grab a mountain here, and I'm going to cast my Scourge. It's only a 2/2 for now, but it's gonna get bigger from here. And I doubt that they have damage-based removal in their Esper deck. They could Harm's Way me, I guess. But this feels like a weird Harm's Way deck. Blade Splicer, pretty good here. That is gonna blank my Scourge for now. It's gonna blank most everything that I'm doing, actually. I guess I will try to make 1/1s with my Seasoned Pyromancer. If I can deal face damage to my opponent, I might be able to outscale this Blade Splicer. Let's cast Seasoned Pyromancer. Squee is kind of a free discard here, and I don't really need the IRSO Sworn right now. It's going to be hard for it to get in. And I especially want to keep the Expressive Iteration because it's going to help me with the card advantage angle. So in that interest, I will play the Thundering Falls now to get my blue source here. And Hive of the Eye Tyrant seems great here. I'm going to leave that on top. Alright, no attacks here. There's definitely a world where I chump attack with the tokens or something like that to try and get 1 to 2 damage in. Just to make this Scourge a little bit bigger. But any burn spell is going to be a really good draw here, and I can always Firebolt my opponent in the face to grow that Scourge as well. Okay, I'm going to take 3. And I mean, this reads Counterspell for sure. But let's go ahead and try to Firebolt here, because it's a big deal if it resolves. Wow, okay. I still think that they have something. It could be Spell Queller, it could be some manner of Flash 2/1s, it could be Felia. But I think I'm just going to swing out here. Yeah, I'll grab a land. I'm still going to make my Scourge very big here, if that's all they have. Yep, okay. Scourge is a 6/6. I'm going to be going down to 7, but I'm going to be way ahead on board. And Dreadhorde is going to be a really big problem. Oh, there is the Felia, okay. So Felia can just murder one of my elementals. I'm going to take 5 down to 5. This is getting a little dicey. Skyclave kills my thing. And then they can bounce the Skyclave, but they have nothing left to hit. Wow, Thalia plus Skyclave is going to be a bit of a problem. Yep, murder my token. The good news is they can't kill a token and bounce the Skyclave in the same turn. The bad news is I'm dying quickly. Okay, play with fire. Probably going to hit the Thalia here. Let's start off with Expressive Iteration. No lands. If we take the Deep Cavern Vat into exile, we can look at their hand and still cast the Play with Fire, and then we can keep the Psychic Frog for future turns and put the Hired Claw on the bottom. I think that's good. Exile the Deep Cavern Bat. Check their hand. Yeah. Island Swamp, okay. Bummer that we didn't hit anything, but not bummer that they don't have anything. And then we're going to have to kill this. And play this for turn. If they draw a removal spell, we're in big trouble. If they don't draw a removal spell, we can double block the Skyclave Apparition, gain a life, take 3, go to 3. We're still way behind here, but we have a chance. They're in combat. They could have drawn an instant speed removal spell, but they did not. Okay. I'm comfortable with the chump block here because I'm about to make 2 good blockers. Kroxa is also a great draw. Alright, time to just play a bunch of bangers. They discarded Swamp. And yeah, this is just going to be Arcanist plus Frog, I think. We can't make the Frog any bigger, unfortunately, but I think it's still the best use of our mana. And if the Arcanist gets to attack, I think we turn the corner. I mean, okay, turn the corner is a strong word, but we've got a lot of options. Okay. Are we willing to sacrifice the Frog for the cause here? I think we are. We have so much going on in our graveyard. This is again just going to be... Yeah, let's double block and chump. We can make a Kroxa next turn, and we'll still have that Dreadhorde Arcanist to probably do something with, depending on what opponent does. Okay, they do have the Blowout. So now we make a Kroxa. We've got Infernal Grasp plus Kroxa. That's really good. What can we safely exile here? Mostly lands, but not all of them, because we do want to still have potentially Delirium for the Nethergoyf if we find it. We can't really cast spells out of our graveyard that easily, besides the Arcanist, which is already gone. So we can get rid of probably the most expensive sorcery and a bunch of lands. Okay. Okay, and they lost Spell Pierce. Wow, that's very fortunate, because now we get to Infernal Grasp. Alright, I'm down to 4. They have a 3/3. I have a Kroxa. I also have a bunch more things to do out of my graveyard. And I have a Hive of the Eye Tyrant on the battlefield. They didn't play their card, so it's either an instant or they forgot about the Kroxa trigger. I'm gonna go ahead and just animate the Hive, I think, and hold up Stomp. I think that's fine. Okay, they do have something. They're gonna bounce the Kroxa back to my hand. That's a great draw. I'm gonna stomp it when they flash it in my end step. And what do I want to hit out of their graveyard? I don't know if this matters very much. I guess I might want to play around Snapcaster Mage, so I'll take Path. And then end step is going to be presumably Brazen Borrower, unless they have noticed that I didn't cast this Kroxa, but... Oh. Well, that's not how I wanted to do that, but that's okay. Stomp has entered the effects area. They do get to... No, they don't get to attack here because of the Squee. They drew Elite Spellbinder. They're going to take my Kroxa. So if I make a Squee and I swing out, that's like not that good. Nethergoyf is a very good draw. I can make a Squee and a Nethergoyf, or I can make a Hive of the Eye Tyrant and a Nethergoyf. If I make a Squee and I attack, they block one of the 2/2s. No, that's not that good. Let's what does this cost? 2 more? Yeah. So I can cast the Kroxa and deal 3 damage to them. And then make a Nethergoyf and pass. Although the Elite Spellbinder threatens to potentially kill me. I don't have any way of dealing with that though. So I guess I just have to try to kill them. This will put them to 2. Oh, were they dead? I guess their attacks... I mean, that was going to the graveyard. I don't know if they were guaranteed dead there. But, still, I think they were very likely to lose that game. Alright, GG's. Alright, on the play in round 2. This hand looks really good to me. We can lead on Nethergoyf, and if we draw land, we can curve it into Deep Cavern Bat. If we fetch the Blood Crypt, then even if we don't draw the land, we get to potentially Firebolt opponent's early play, and then get in for 2. Let's get that Blood Crypt. We'll pay 2 life, and here's Nethergoyf. Alright, we did find the land, so let's go ahead and bat here. I'm going to do it now in case they want to answer it somehow. For some reason, I don't know why they would do it before combat, but Okay, there's the Ulcerate. And let's see. If we take Clarion Spirit and then make a Scourge of the Skyclaves. No, we should probably take Renegade Rallier so we don't get 2 for 1. Clarion Spirit is fine. We'll just outscale it. I'm a little worried about this hidden stockpile too, though. Clarion Spirit and Renegade Rallier both die to Firebolt. I guess hidden stockpile can be gotten back with Rallier anyway. Okay, we'll take the Rallier. Okay, here's Clarion Spirit. Now, what do we want to do here? We can make a 3/3, which is only going to get bigger. I can actually make it bigger immediately. They do have 2 spells in hand, but they can't cast them with their Urza Saga. Forest. Yeah, they need to find something that lets them cast Abundant Harvest and Hidden Stockpile, which is any colored land at all. We could also just broadside right now and start cracking in for crazy damage. I think it's going to be Scourge. So let's attack. Arid Mesa is good with Scourge of the Skyclaves, but it's yet another land, which I don't think we actually need, so I'm going to bin it. Deep Cavern Bat and Scourge of the Skyclaves, kind of a nombo. Luckily, if opponent attacks, we can just make our Scourge bigger. Okay, there's the Abundant Harvest. They chose non-land, and they revealed Fell, which they can now cast with their Urza Saga if they want. What's the target, though? Both of these cards are scary. They paid 2 more to the Overgrown Tomb. Fell makes a spirit token. Yep, that makes sense to me. I will take 2. And I can unearth the Skyclaves if I want. That's pretty sweet. Firebolt the spirit token, get in. Unearth. And then we'll have broadside next turn. We've already seen Fell. We've already seen Abundant Harvest. So they don't have 2 spells right now. Yeah, I think that line is fine. Polluted Delta and Unearth. Targeting Scourge of the Skyclaves. We will be able to Surveil on end step. And then broadside next turn. There is the Saga. They can cast Hidden Stockpile. Oh, okay, there's their second spell. They're going to get a guy. Now they have 4 power on the battlefield. Oh, I should have done this post-combat. Whoops. Den seems good. I'm going to leave that on top. So let's see. We can't Firebolt here. If we broadside and we sack the Deep Cavern Bat, I guess that's good if they like quadruple block. Yeah, this just makes all their blocks very bad. I can't attack with the Deep Cavern Bat because of the Spirit Token, I guess. But I am still going to prepare to sacrifice it if it means that I get a if it means I get card advantage out of it. Okay, that makes sense to me. I am going to activate Broadside Bombardiers targeting Clarion Spirit here and give them their Rallier back. They can sack the token to turn the Rallier on and then get the Clarion Spirit back, but that stops them from activating Urza Saga and getting that Construct token. So I think I win out on that exchange. Oh no, they can't sack the token. What am I talking about? Token dies in combat. Alright, feeling pretty far ahead here. We've got the Firebolt and the Nethergoyf in the graveyard if we need them. Nethergoyf is missing a card type though, so we can't do that quite yet. Windswept Heath is a pretty good draw. That's going to turn on Revolt for the Hidden Stockpile as well as the Renegade Rallier that's currently in hand. So that's pretty sweet. They can get that Clarion Spirit back. They're going to get a Servo end step. Now if they have another spell, that's going to be messed up. Yep, there it is. That's a nuts turn. It's even Deathrite Shaman, which attacks my graveyard. That was an incredibly good turn for opponent. Seasoned Pyromancer is a really good draw. Okay, let's see where that goes. That is going to draw us 2 cards. It also represents 5 face damage. Stalactite Stalker is also a pretty good draw. We still can't make a Nethergoyf, but I don't think that matters. I don't think we want to do that anyway. Let's crack in with everybody. And see how the blocks go. Okay, they want to go like that. I think I want to just kill the Deathrite Shaman here, honestly. Kill the Deathrite, and that means I can lean on Seasoned Pyromancer and Nethergoyf and Firebolt to try and close the game out. They are going to scry one. Scrying to the top. And here's my land and my Stalactite Stalker. And I think that is all I can do this turn. Alright, what do they got here? Could be Skull Clamp? That would be pretty bad. Retrofitter. Also pretty bad. And Golos. Alright, I'm going to have to find a way to squeeze 4 damage through here. But luckily, if I just let them attack me, my Scourge gets bigger and bigger. Peatland. This lets me cycle, and it also triggers my Stalker. Bitter Triumph for the Golos, perhaps? I can pay the 3 life. That'll make my Scourge into a 7/7. Yeah, that's very good. And now I can crack in Still no trample, so I'm not going to be able to race this retrofitter necessarily. But I am going to be able to put another Goyf onto the battlefield here. I don't know why Moto has stopped automatically using my mana. I must have clicked on something weird. So here's an instant, here's a land. We've already used the Unearth, so I'm not that worried about the other stuff here, the creatures. All right, here we go. Here's my scary creatures. They've got a Field of the Dead, they've got 5 lands. Their deck is sweet. I have not seen this like hidden stockpile Golos Field of the Dead build before. Okay, Clamp, draw 2 cards. Makes sense. And they're going to be able to make another blocker with the Retrofitter. A land here. It makes the attack with the Stalactite Stalker a little dicey because they can double block. Okay, here's a land. I've got Firebolt. If I Firebolt the Servo token, it doesn't really matter because they can make a Servo at instant speed. So I think what I want to do is probably swing out. They can only make 1 extra blocker on board, and then that's 3 damage they get in. And then I'll be able to put them to 1 with the Firebolt, which does not quite kill them. Jeez, and they're going to draw 2 cards. Or I could animate the Den, and then what? That's probably not lethal either. It's going to make 5 total attackers. They have 3 blockers, but one of my attackers has Menace. They can block and take... I guess I can put them into lethal range with the Firebolt. Okay, I think that's good. I think that's what I'm going to do. If I turn this on, it doesn't kill them this turn, but it does kill them next turn. They go block, 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 and they take 4. And then I have them in Firebolt range. They're going to draw 2 cards. I'm going to grow my thing. They are going to draw looking for an answer. They've got 5 cards in hand. There aren't that many ways to gain life in this cube, yeah. Okay, sweet. We did get there. That game was slipping away from us quickly, but we did eventually get there. Why does it say Scourge is a 2020 now? I'm still at 13 life. I guess there's something in the back end that says the game is over, so no one has any life. That's funny. Okay, let's see. I do think this is a Mana Dorks deck, and we saw Urza Saga and 2 things to get with it, so I'm going to grab this Hidetsugu Consumes All. I think this card is really good against this opponent. Similarly, I'm not super excited about Twin Shot here. Damage-based removal is going to be worse against decks that are playing like Urza Saga and Golos. A Braid is really good here. They have tons of artifacts. That's just going to be better than some random removal spell, I guess. Some random damage-based removal spell. Arc Trail, I don't know about in this matchup. In some cases, it's really good. Like, sometimes you just blow out their 2 Mana Dorks or something. Yeah, I think I'm going to keep the Arc Trail in. We saw a bunch of X2s, we saw a bunch of X1s. Could be Dread Fugue. The deck is pretty high curving. It's not going to be as efficient as it is in some other matchups. Let's try it like this. I like the Abrade and Hidetsugu for sure. And these cards are generally better against lower curving decks. Okay, we've got the turn 1 Stalker, but no fetch land. I think this hand is good enough. Stalker into bat. We've also got both of the cards we brought in as tech, so that's kind of sweet. Shock that in, and probably getting Thoughtseized here. Oh, Deathrite Shaman. Okay. We're just going to kill that then. Yeah, that's fine. Bolt the bird, as they say, except this is way better than birds. I'm terrified of Deathrite Shaman in this format. I know historically it has not been very good in Cube, but the double fetches helps it out a lot. And there's also, as you can probably see, a lot of graveyard stuff going on here. They chose land, they revealed a bunch of cards and put them on the bottom, and they have an Urza Saga in their hand now, which I guess I will take note of. Watery Grave, whoa, okay. They are in more colors than I thought. So what do we want to do here? We can go Kroxa or we can go Bat. Or we can go Stalactite Stalker. Let's go Bat. Bat is just always going to be better early. Wow, okay. What are we afraid of here? Knight of the Reliquary is going to die to our removal spell and can't be bought back with Renegade Rallier. So maybe we take the Skull Clamp. I am terrified of Skull Clamp, but also if we can get them to run out the Skull Clamp, we can get it with a Braid or with Hitotsugu. So maybe we'll take the Stockpile. Because I'd actually prefer for them to run out one of these creatures here. If they cast Knight of the Reliquary, we just blow it up. Oh, they can't. They have no white source. Okay, I should have been paying more attention to that. I guess it doesn't matter then, because the only card in hand they can actually cast is Skull Clamp. I see. Yeah, they kept Overgrown Tomb, Watery Grave, in the hopes that Abundant Harvest could find them a white source, I suppose. But instead it found Urza Saga. I think I'm willing to commit the Hitotsugu just to clip the Skull Clamp, honestly. Oh, there's a Lotus Cobra. Okay. Is Lotus Cobra a good enough target for a Braid? I think it is. There's the Skull Clamp, though. So we can, like, Scalding Tarn, Bone Crusher to stomp the Lotus Cobra, and then wait for something else to come out of the Urza Saga before we consume. I think that's pretty good. And we can even play the Stalactite Stalker, grow it with the Scalding Tarn. Okay, I like this line. Let's attack first. Going to... Hang on, let's crack the Scalding Tarn first. It might actually be worth it to grab the untapped Shockland here anyway, just to keep ourselves open in terms of mana. Stomp this. I'm scared of them having white mana for sure. And I guess maybe I shouldn't have cast the Stalker because it gets swept up by the Hitotsugu, but I think we're a couple turns away from that. There's the Misty. So they can get back Lotus Cobra or Deathrite Shaman. I hope it's Deathrite Shaman. That would be really good. Okay. They're sticking with nothing. Did I lose track of something here? They got rid of a card somewhere? Oh, no, the Skull Clamp's on the battlefield. Whoops. Okay, misclicked there. That should be Knight and Renegade Rallier. But they didn't want to rally. They want to make an Urza Saga token. Okay, so let's attack. We can plan to abrade the Skull Clamp or something. Okay, they didn't want to do anything there. So now we're just going to Kroxa, I guess. We're going to lose the Kroxa to Hidetsugu as well. Jeez. Hidetsugu is worse in my deck than I probably gave it credit for. But I'm still going to try to take their card. Oh, I should have cast the Bone Crusher. What am I doing? I am really bad at paying attention to these little windows all over the place. Okay, well that was an enormous mistake. Okay, Knight is gone. All I have left is the Renegade Rallier. So now they're going to make a token. And next turn, they're going to put a Lotus Cobra onto the battlefield, and I'm going to be way far behind when I cast this Hidetsugu because I screwed up this Kroxa turn. But if they choose to put a Deathrite Shaman onto the battlefield instead, then I might have a chance. They decided to float mana with the Saga. They're getting Mishra's Bauble here. Okay. That is definitely going to be good against Hidetsugu. Wow, I'm really kicking myself over that Bone Crusher Giant turn. Maybe they want to put Urza's Saga back onto the battlefield with Renegade Rallier. That might be good too. Traverse the Ulvenwald with Delirium. Okay. They can get a creature or a land. It's going to be plains. And then they're going to use their floating mana to cast their thing. Oh, but they don't have another green source, so they still have to crack the Misty anyway. Is it possible that the Misty doesn't get white in their deck? Maybe that's what's happening. Okay, there's the Rallier. Give me Deathrite Shaman. I think it's really tempting here because I have two different things in my graveyard that do stuff. Yeah. Awesome. Okay. It's really good. And they want to bauble now. They're going to bauble me. And they're going to equip onto the construct. This unfortunately means they're going to draw 2 cards when I hit Hidetsugu. Kind of hoping they attack here. Nope. Okay, so they got to see off the top of my deck Expressive Iteration, which I cannot cast at all. Okay, well. Bummer about this Stalactite Stalker. I've really just been kind of fumbling this whole game, huh? Okay, I'm going to attack to see if I can get them to double block with the token and the Rallier. Sweet. They do get 2 cards back, but I'm losing this Stalker anyway. And here is Hidetsugu coming to consume all. Destroy your Deathrite and your Skull Clamp. I've got 2 removal spells. I've got an imminent scary threat. I've also got a Bone Crusher in reserve. But if they find a removal spell for the Deep Cavern Bat, I might be in trouble. Oh, they had the Retrofitter in hand. Maybe I should have read that. I guess I can just abrade it, so that's fine. Okay, graveyards are gone. I'm gonna abrade this. Oh, I should have done this in response. Well. Yes, you get a servo. Maybe I shouldn't. I don't know. I'm not sure if having this abrade in my graveyard is more valuable than having my opponent's Retrofitter Foundry exiled. And second means Seal of Fire. That's land number 6. Gonna take 1 here, down to 20. Where did I get all this life? Oh, the Deep Cavern Bat, duh. It's not something that happens a lot in this cube, just like having a bunch of life all over the place. Alright, here is my Hidetsugu the something. Hidetsugu, oh no, Vessel of the All-Consuming, right, because they're not actually the creature on the back. I still can't cast this Expressive Iteration, so I guess we're just going to attack with the bat. I'm feeling pretty good even in the face of this Field of the Dead. They can make potentially 2 zombies next turn if they have a 7th land name, but even if they double block the Vessel, I can Bitter Triumph them. And, oh, I guess I have the Seal of Fire on board as well. And the Vessel has Trample, so it's going to trigger anyway. It's going to get the counter. Okay, there's the field. They're actually going to make 3 zombies this turn. And an Avacyn's Pilgrim. They've got 2 zombies face up here. Thundering Falls can hit the Expressive Iteration. I'm going to do this now because I might unearth something relevant. Okay, this got all small and I forgot about it again. It is what it is. Here are my attacks. You can have 3 zombies, and even if you triple block, I will still get you. I need this to be like huge and flashing. Block, block, block. No, not like that. Yes, like that. Okay. Shoot a zombie. Bitter Triumph. Paying 3 life. Another zombie. And deal a bunch of damage here. Trample over for 2. Get a counter on my Vessel. And that's all I got. Blackmail. Okay, that's going to take one of my cards. I'm guessing Expressive Iteration, since the Unearth currently doesn't do anything. And Field Trigger. Make a 2/2. Still no profitable blocks. Oh no, they can make a second 2/2 with their Flooded Strand. Den of the Bugbear is a very good draw. Attack with Vessel is bad, so go to combat. Attack for 1. And finally, remember to cast my Bone Crusher Giant. Alright, they drew something. It's Golos. That's quite good. They can get probably a fetch land here. The Urza Saga is gone. Yep, silent clearing. That works too. Get a zombie and draw a card. Play with fire. That can go face. And what? Attack with... I mean, maybe we just attack with everything. How do they block if I do that? Eat the Bone Crusher Giant with Golos. Double block the Vessel. They have another zombie for... No, that's just bad. That's basically the same as attacking with the Deep Cavern Bat. I suppose if they block the Bone Crusher, I can put it back onto the battlefield, but does that matter? I can kill the Golos, I guess. They can activate the Golos here, so I guess I have to make it attractive to block with it. But I can't do that if I activate the Den of the Bugbear. So we'll just swing with what we've got here. Okay, chump block. And triple block the Vessel. I'm gonna put the Golos first here. And then we have to find a way to beat Field of the Dead, but I think that's probably fine. We'll go like this. This has trample, but it doesn't matter because it only has 4 power. So killing the Golos first is not relevant. Whatever, we'll do it now. Opponent is at 4. Do I want to cycle the Unearth here? I still have nothing to hit with it. But it could be relevant with the Bone Crusher Giant, because they have to double block to kill this thing. Every land they draw is a 2/2. But they only have 4 turns to figure out how to answer this. Well, I guess I'll cycle it. Nice. Infernal Grasp, pretty good draw. Yeah, let's swing out. They have been generally blocking relatively correctly, so I'm expecting a triple block or more here. Yep. But that means I get to save this Infernal Grasp. Kill 2 of those zombies and make another dangerous threat. They are down to 3. Explore. Trigger the field. They found a treetop village. Okay. And now my only good attack is with Deep Cavern Bat. Okay, Hired Claw is a sweet draw here. It's probably not going to end up mattering because of the Deep Cavern Bat just doing the job by itself. But it is cool that this is potentially an aggro card that is a relevant top deck. Alright, they drew something. Chaldea Guardian. Good draw. They're blitzing it in. I'm going to choose not to block. They are going to make 2 1/1s and draw a card. This card is newly on Moto, It was missing for a long time, which bummed me out because I love playing it in this cube. But now the whole cube is available in Moto. We're actually just playing the paper list with no changes. Opponent did not lose life this turn. Let's take a peek here. Nether Goyf, good draw. Bonk in for 1. I always felt like Treetop Village should have reach instead of trample, since it's a village that's in the trees. But if it did have reach, I'd be super dead right now. Oh, I tapped that a little bit wrong. Could have been holding up Infernal Grasp here instead of activating Hired Claw with black mana. Clarion Spirit. If they have a second spell, they can make a blocker. But they do not. So they are going to die. And get in for that last 1 damage. GG's. That deck was very cool. I didn't clock it as a 5-color Golos deck in the first game, because I didn't see any red or blue mana out of them. But I think what's happening here is they're probably just splashing those colors for the Golos activation as opposed to any actual spells. Awesome. Good games. Alright, and we have lost the die roll for the first time this draft. We do get to play a turn 1 Hired Claw, though, which is very exciting. I'm going to keep this. If we can find something cool to do with the Arcanist, then that's going to be sweet. Whisperwood Elemental. Alright, right into the garbage with that one. Let's lead on Mountain. We do have 2 Surveil lands in our deck, so these fetches are valuable. Sylvan Library. Pretty good. I'm hoping we can just completely outrace this card. Get in for 2 here. Let's always yield to this. And then we can actually activate this before damage. Wow, this card is crazy. I didn't even think about that play pattern. Whoa. Okay, well, if they take some damage here and we get to broadside them, then that's pretty messed up. We could also Surveil and just do that same thing again, except hit them for 4 this time. Yeah, on first read, I did not catch at all that you can just let the trigger resolve and then still activate it before damage. Lush Portico here. Some kind of big mana Naya deck. They don't want this Keen-Eyed Curator either, because it doesn't block profitably. And here's Wrenn and 6. They're going to +1. I am just not worried about Wrenn and 6, honestly. My Stalactite Stalker is going to outgrow it. Yeah, let's do the same thing, except this time make a 2/2. Attack opponent. Resolve that. Activate this. Polluted Delta. Crack this for probably Blood Crypt here. And there's my 2/2 immediately out of Wrenn and 6 range. Okay, they put 2 cards back. They took a total of 4 damage from the Sylvan Library. I think. Is that right? Triggered ability, card on top, kept a card. Ooh, Flage. That's really good here. And then doink it with Wrenn and 6. Okay. So they're back up to 12. Bitter Triumph can kill Wrenn and 6, but I don't know if I'm actually worried about that. Yeah, I'm going to cast the Broadside. I'm going to attack opponent for 4. And then I am going to Surveil now to get another counter here. Hive is maybe even just too slow here. I'd rather another creature or a burn spell maybe. But they're super low. If I can remove a blocker or something like that, they're actually dead on board right now. I don't think there's a land they can draw that lets them cast Flage here. Swords. Okay, that's good. That is good. Birds cannot block my menace creature. But it does give them Flage mana next turn. So we probably want to kill it anyway. So I'm thinking we kill it before combat so we can attack in with this squee. I'm going to pay 3 life. Two 5-color green decks at the table. Huh. Attack opponent, attack opponent. Get you for 6. They've got something. Cycle. Okay. And yeah, I'm going to hit you with this as well. You can ping it with the Wrenn and 6 if you want. That's fine. I imagine they're looking for that second white source for the Flage, which is definitely going to help them stabilize, but I do have a removal spell for it. They can kill the Stalker, and then they can ping the Goblin. That would put them up to 5 and back down to 3. No, sorry, back down to 2 with the squee attack. Or they can kill the squee, but I can just make the squee again. Okay, they're out of here. Alright, that was a great showing from Hired Claw, wow. I am already super high on this card. That's the first time I've seen it on the battlefield in any context. Okay, let's see. So Twin Shot Sniper is good against Mana Dorks. We have nothing to do against Sylvan Library at all. We are in the 2 colors that don't do that. I don't have... I guess Hitotsugu is good against Flage. And we saw a 1/1 drop. I don't know if it's good enough here. I want to kill my opponent quickly. They can definitely outvalue me. This might be an Embercleave matchup. They seemed a little light on removal, and their intention appears to be go over the top of me. So I'm going to cut the Twin Shot Sniper here. I think it's a little too slow. And then maybe we can bring in something like Swift Spear. And what's our next slowest card? Could be Arcanist. I think Bat is really good here. Seasoned Pyromancer, maybe? It is our only 3-drop that doesn't just like deal damage to our opponent directly in some fashion, whether it be haste or stomp. Yeah, we just kind of put our foot on the gas here. Try to get under them. Don't let them cast their 5-drops. I think that's where I'm at here. This hand is very close, but it's not good enough, I don't think. We do have the Stomp. We have the Den. We have the Surveil for the black source, and we're on the draw. And I don't know if this opponent can beat Psychic Frog ever. Okay, I'm going to keep it. It's dicey, but I'm going to keep it. They're going to Shock in, and they're going to Elvish Reclaimer. We have nothing for that. We drew another black spell. That sucks. We can put this right into the garbage. It has Unearth. And we can stomp the Reclaimer before it gets too big. They're going to want to activate it here, I guess. Can they have anything that punishes me here? They could crop rotation into a fetch land, but that still only puts 2 cards into their graveyard. So they'll go find whatever, their white source or something like that. Whatever fixing land they need to. Yeah, Lush Portico, sure. Here's Hedge Maze. And Play with Fire. I suppose that will let us try to find a black source. Let's go ahead and point this at their face now. No, actually we can just cast the Bone Crusher Giant. Start putting the clock on. Okay, swords. They're going to take 2. I'm going to gain 4. I might want to stop in my upkeep. Too late. Alright, Arid Mesa. Sweet. It is time to cast Psychic Frog. Blood Crypt. Pay 2 life. Frog. We could put also the Arcanist onto the battlefield. I think that's fine. 2 terrifying legacy threats. They've got Endurance. Okay. They could put my graveyard away. Yep. Fable of the Mirror Breaker. Pretty good. So I think what I want to do here is play with fire the Endurance, and then attack with Dreadhorde Arcanist, and play with fire the Endurance a second time. They are going to get to keep their Goblin Shaman this way, but I can also Dread Fugue them. Maybe we should start off with Dread Fugue. We can actually cleave it kind of for free here. Okay. Target you. See what scary thing you've got here. Yeah, okay. Let's get rid of this Death Greeter's Champion. Going to shock this. And then I'm going to crack in and shock it again. Trigger, target, play with fire. Play with fire. Yeah, trigger resolves. Cast the card targeting Endurance. And they do get to block the Dreadhorde. Do I want to discard anything here? I don't think so. I'm fine drawing the cards. I think all these cards are really good. Firebolt also sick with Dreadhorde. See what they discard here. I think their damage spells are all pretty bad. They discarded Mountain and Absence Judgment. Yeah, so they do get to cast that for the X mode. Madness Trigger is fine. And now they can cast it X equals 3 and kill my Dreadhorde if they want. Which I will then unearth probably. Okay, you got it. Although Netherglyph is really sweet here. We can grow the Psychic Frog and the Nethergoyf at instant speed if we want to. Peatland, cool. Let's attack first. And then, yeah, I think this is going to be Nethergoyf. We can actually even play the Peatland and cast Unearth here as well. And this way, what we get to do is Firebolt the 2/2 and then Firebolt the back of Fable. And then I think we're really far ahead. It's crazy that we've drawn this many cards off of Psychic Frog and we're still like roughly even on card advantage with our opponent right now. Seal of Fire is a great draw. Let's cast that pre-combat to make their blocks bad. And then, yeah, we're just going to crack in with everything here. This will target that Firebolt. And Firebolt is going to target Reflection. They're going to target the Frog here. I am probably just going to discard my whole hand, I think. I can also discard one card and then Seal of Fire it. Nah, alright, I'm going to activate this twice. It does grow the Nethergoyf as well. They've got Burst Lightning for it. I did know about the Burst Lightning. So why don't I just activate again? I guess then I get 2 for 2'd. No, I get 3 for 2'd. Yeah, so I'll lose the Frog, they'll lose the Augur. I'm going to deal an extra 2 damage to them with that Nethergoyf. I should have cracked the Peatland before passing the turn in case I hit a 2-drop. There's Wrenn 6. That's not doing much right now. They're going to get back Boseiju. Okay, sure. So they can kill my Den of the Bugbear. And then end step, I will draw a card. Smuggler's Copter is pretty good, but not in the face of Wrenn 6 plus Boseiju. There's Mountain. I can cast Unearth and get back the Psychic Frog. It's pretty good. And I suppose Smuggler's Copter does represent an extra point of damage with the Nethergoyf. Yeah, I'm not going to kill the Wrenn 6 here. I'm going to cast this. And I'm going to target the Frog. I can actually activate the Frog now, because the Copter isn't doing much of anything. And I get an extra point here. Okay, sweet. And I'm going to hang on to the mountain because I want to pitch it to the frog. Boseiju my den, that's totally fine. Going to grab Raucous Theater here. And perhaps even surveil something sweet into my graveyard. No, that one can stay on top. I think Boseiju forces the search though, so they can shuffle my library now if they want. Let's double check here. No, may search. So I might actually just not do that because the card on top of my library is so good. They probably recognize that I'm willing to get Stone Rained here. Oh, they're going to hit my Seal of Fire. That's interesting. I guess I will put that at their face. And this will fizzle the Boseiju ability, so I don't have to worry about the search anyway. Alright, good games. The clean 3060. Let's pull this deck up here. I know it's bad manners to trophy your own cube, but wow, this deck was sweet. I felt like the splash was so synergistic here with Psychic Frog. This card was putting powerful things into my graveyard to fuel the Kroxa, to fuel the Squee. Yeah, and my lane felt super open during the draft. Even wheeled that Kroxa, which I think is honestly, like, I almost first picked that card and caught it on the wheel. Yeah, so this is my baby. I hope you enjoyed watching this cube. I love it a lot. And it will be featured at CubeCon 2024. So if you want to draft it in paper, come through to that event. And if you ever want to draft it online, hop into the Discord server in my link tree and come draft with us sometime. I think that's about it for today. So thank you for watching, and we'll catch you next time.